are two examples for graphing the cube root functions. I put a table of values up here just so we could always refer back to that if we don't remember the pattern on these. So we're going to plug in for the x's -8, -1, 0, 1, and 8. The reason why we're choosing these values to plug in is because we know the cube roots of a -8, -1, 0, 1, and 8. We're just making math easier for ourselves, especially without a calculator. So if you plug in a -8 for x, we have the cube root of -8, and the cube root of -8 is a -2. Now plug in a -1, cube root of -1 is a -1. Plug in a 0 for x, cube root of 0 is 0. Plug in a 1 for x, cube root of 1 is 1. Plug in an 8, cube root of 8 is 2. So here we have 5 points we can plot. A -8, -2, which is off my graph just one spot. Should have used bigger graphs. -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 8, +2. And here is our graph. Domain and range on this one. If you notice, domain is your x values. We plugged in negative numbers, we plugged in a 0, we plugged in positive numbers. We were not restricted at all on what we could put in for the x's. So our domain is all real numbers. And the y values, the kind of numbers we were getting back negatives, 0, positives. That's also going to be all real numbers. All of our cube root functions will have the domain and range as all real numbers every time. Now coming over here, we have some shifting happening. Y equals the cube root of x minus 2 plus 2. So first, in with the x is our vertical shift. This is the tricky x. It looks like a -2, which maybe we'd say, hey, that should go to the left, but because it's tricky, we're going to go to the right. We go the opposite direction. So we're going to the right 2. This plus 2 outside of the radical is our vertical shift. It's very straightforward. We're going to go up 2 on those. So that gives us our starting point. If we look back at this parent function, the original graph over here, that's going to give us this middle point right here. So we go to the origin on our new graph and we go to the right 2 and up 2. There's our new point. Now the pattern that we were doing in class on this was we had our diagonal of 3. So I'm going up 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. There's that diagonal of 3. And then we went out 7. So these cube root functions always have that pattern where you have those 3 points right there, and then you go out 7. So from my top one, I'm going to go up 1 and out 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is right around here. From my bottom one, we go down 1 and out 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. So a couple ways you could think about it. You know, I remember my 3 points and then out 7. You also could say, well, you're starting with, you know, do your shift. Here's your starting point. And then it's a pattern. Instead of the 1, 3, 5, it's a 1, 7, and then the next number. And then go the other way, a 1 and a 7. And we just want to make sure our graph is looking like this. Domain and range on these, because it's the cube root function, we know we can plug any number in for x, and we're going to get all those numbers back out. So all real numbers for both domain and range.